A thread by Brian Cates. Yup. Operation Warp Speed is paying off. Very likely Trump is right, and there's a working vaccine by year's end. Can't wait to see the Democratic Party leaders and the DNC media complex, sorry for repeating myself, wail about Trump promoting a dangerous, unsafe vaccine that cures or prevents people from contracting the Chinese Communist Party virus. That's going to be just as fun as watching some lunatics wail Trump is going to institute a national mandatory vaccination program. It's already happening. Just yesterday, Trump flipped masks on the Democrats. Trump, these masks work so beautifully. They work, right? They prevent the virus from spreading, right? Right? Democrats, right! Trump, awesome. So no mail-in voting then. Democrats, wait, masks don't work. Trump is literally going to spend the next 100 days batting these morons around like a cat toy, and in the end, they don't get mail-in voting, and federal records will be used to prevent illegals from voting for president. And you all thought Trump's moves in these executive orders was just about the 2020 census. I already see Trump's next step. It will be completely legal. Just as it's illegal for a non-citizen to fill out the census form and return it, it's also illegal for an illegal alien to vote in U.S. elections, right? You can tell me I'm right. Federal records will be checked. And as with the census, any illegal immigrant who is not a U.S. citizen who is revealed to have voted for president will have their vote discarded. The older federal records added to the census info and the stimulus checks already showed the feds who the citizens are and who the illegal immigrants are. So they already know. People screaming and wailing about mail-in voting didn't see this coming. It doesn't matter how or when the illegal immigrants' votes show up. They will be discarded. Trump has had the feds preparing to do this for over 3 years now. Remember, last Friday, Trump did say an epic 8-week plan he's been carefully preparing for 3.5 years was kicking off on Tuesday, yesterday. Some on the right, staunch Trump supporters apparently, will say he's just being a blowhard here, just more empty talk. I don't think so. It refers to things nobody has even contemplated. It's going to be a very exciting 8 weeks. Can honestly say nobody's ever seen 8 weeks like we're going to have. They've been working on these things for 25 to 30 years. So, I think we'll start sometime on Tuesday. All Trump quotes. There's a difference between state and federal elections. While some states have made it legal for non-citizens to vote in local elections, the federal government never made that legal for federal elections, right? The issue is that it was considered too hard by the political elite class in D.C. to come up with a way to eliminate the illegal immigrant votes from the federal election numbers passed up from the states. Trump came up with a way to do that, and it's 100% legal. Understand, the federal government has a database at this point. They know who the citizens are and who the illegals are. How many of each in every state and city and county. The Federal Elections Commission is going to scan the vote totals coming up from the states for House reps, senators, and president. Every single illegal immigrant vote detected by the database is going to be tossed. Just because the FEC, Federal Elections Commission, hasn't told the states up until now, we are going to check every single vote cast in your state against our database to remove those cast by non-citizens from the federal election totals, in no way means they can't do that. I'm going to belabor this point until it sinks in. Whatever laws a state may have passed allowing illegal immigrants to vote in state and local elections, the federal government never passed any such law. It's just that nobody ever enforced this. Hell, nobody ever even came up with a way to do this, to shed the illegal immigrant votes from the federal election totals, until President Donald Trump. Now, they can do it, and they will. So you see now why mail-in voting and ballot harvesting is not going to matter. Not only will illegal immigrant votes be discarded from the federal election totals, voters who don't exist at fake or wrong addresses or are dead will also be detected. Trump spent 3.5 years working with smart people to set this up. Now everything is ready and he can actually brag it's coming, this 8-week plan, because there's no way for his enemies to stop it. He prepared the ground. He owns the battlefield. When a county that only has 12,000 legal voters in it returns 40,000 votes, in the past, everybody just threw up their hands and said, "Ah, well, what can you do but count them all?" Those days have ended. Understand, the Supreme Court already established the precedent for this next election. It's settled law. For votes to be counted legally, they must be in the election clerk's hands at the end of the election day. All absentee mail-in votes must be postmarked by that date. Democrats don't get to spend days or weeks finding harvested ballots or ballots somebody lost and demand that they be added to the vote totals. If a vote can't be proven to have been cast by the close of the election day, then it's not going to be counted. Easy, easy peasy. Lemon squeezy. Yeah. Now, I'm not having people tell me yet again Trump wasted his time on all of this because nobody signs their census form. And unless it's mail-in absentee ballots, nobody signs their ballot. How about you stop and think about that for a second? What reason would Trump have for, one, first doing an executive order telling the federal agencies to use record searches to determine the actual number of citizens in each county of each state, and then, two, doing another executive order declaring illegals won't be counted in the census? Why? Why bother? Some of you apparently are going to be absolutely unreachable, and no matter how I explain it, you're going to reply that what Trump did with these two executive orders makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. You don't sign your census form or your vote, so this is all pointless. I guess you're going to have to watch this 8-week plan unfold before you realize that Trump knows what he's doing. It is what it is.